Bob would like to know, do you have any stories or dealings with the Lucchese Vario crew, and what were they like? Obviously, they're portrayed in a certain way, but interesting to know what they were really like.
They were almost like Nick Pileggi wrote Goodfellas, and that's basically keyed in on their crew. That's what they were like. They really were like that. Paulie Vario was like that. Me and John got it caught on tape. We went to his funeral when he passed away. But they were like that. They were bank robbers, not only bank robbers, but they had the airport. They were the strongest people in the airport, and they were doing most of the robbing of the trucks and trailers and everything like that. They definitely did a lot of work. I don't know who shot who, but I'm not in their family. I think that scene in the bar, go get your shine box. I don't know if that's true, but I know there's a guy who got killed, and he was from the Gambino family. They put a lot of pressure on it, and then they got that guy, what's his name, Tommy, I forget about it. It's not important, but I'm not even sure if that's true. But they said John Gotti shot him. John Gotti never did. Paulie Vario killed their own guy.
How do Sicilian and American mafias compare in their structure, operation, and violence?
There's a lot of comparisons, but we're definitely not the same. They have different rules and regulations. They can use bombs. We're not allowed to use bombs. There's a lot of things that are different. So, but the basic knowledge is about the same thing. Goes in Austria. But there are rules, certain rules that are different.
Have you been keeping up on the Diddy trials? I know a lot of new information has come out. People would like to know, what's your opinion? Because all the stuff has come out.
Yeah, well, it didn't all come out yet. You still got a long ways to go. Mm-hmm. So I don't really understand. I was talking about it this morning, and I don't understand how you did a RICO case, and there's only against one guy, just him. And I kind of was talking with somebody and can't understand it. Usually there's a bunch of guys who get pinched. But I think what the government is doing is that they pinched him on a RICO, and they're showing the structure by bringing people on the stand. This guy worked for him. He went and go get the girls, or this guy went and go get the guys, and he's running this organization. I think that's the way they're running this case. They're trying it because to go in a RICO case, it's an enterprise. If you don't have that, then where's the RICO? I don't know if the RICO fits in. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that they need some sort of structure. A politician could be indicted under the RICO law, and what's his organization? Congress. He used Congress, so there's got to be a structure. So I don't see no structure with him yet, but it looks like that's what they're going to be doing. One witness after the other, and he's either sending them out to go rough somebody up, beat somebody up, go get drugs, go get a girl, rape her, do this, do that, all of these things. So I guess that at the end, when they talk to a jury, they're going to say, you heard all these people. He was the boss of all of them, and that's RICO. So I guess that's what they're going to do, how they're going to do it.
Becca from TikTok says, Diddy did not have a good day in court today.
I didn't see what happened to him today. But listen, he's not going to have many good days, I don't think. Listen, he did horrible shit. And to a lot of people, and I think they just, people on the jury, it's going to be hard to give them acquittal, to say not guilty after shit they're hearing. His girlfriend, they already showed that she wanted to be there, and she sent this and she sent that. No matter what she wanted to do. Maybe she was a fucking straight up hoe. And if that's what she is, so be it. But that doesn't give you the excuse to bust her fucking face or beat her up or do this or do that or force them to do different things. So no matter what you make out of other people, like the the lawyers, they got a tough time. My friend Anthony Rico was a black guy, a lawyer. In this case, he was my lawyer. He's helped me through a couple of trials that were great, real good guy. And he resigned, if you remember, right in the beginning. I bet you this is why he resigned. And this guy is it's so ugly, his case, that, the law don't even mean anything. People are just going to hate him for what he did to so many people. Now, I don't know if they're going to use that kid, Justin Bieber. I don't know if they're going to, I think he don't want to be used. I don't blame him. He's got to sit there and say what he did for getting a car and getting fame. And that's basically what they were doing. This guy, he really made a horrible dent in the music business for everybody. It hurt everybody. And I would imagine, from what I hear, a lot of black people hate what he did because he's embarrassed them, their race. I know if he was an Italian guy and he did that, I would hate it. I would say, oh my God. So I think he's got a tough time with everybody. Nobody likes what he did. Some freaks might, but, I think he's got a big problem. Not that my opinion means anything, but everybody thinks the same thing, I guess.
I have JB Weld in your super chat. He said, Sammy, I know you respected Chin, but do you carry the same hate for him that you did for Gas Pipe over what happened with Frankie?
To be honest, no. When I was told by John that to kill Chin, it was music to my ears. But he straight out, now that I've had a long time to think about it, he straight out we killed the boss. It's against the rules. He was going to kill us. I don't blame him for that. That's what he's really supposed to do. But Gas Pipe was a scummy little fucking piece of shit who used this here for his own benefit, whining and dining Frankie and all the time and this and that and the other thing. He's a betrayer. He passed by, I said this a long time ago, Jimmy Brown and Danny Marino, and told them something bad's going to happen. Jimmy, to Jimmy Brown, play your cards right. You could be the boss. Literally telling him that this is going to happen. He didn't come to me or John Gotti or Frankie the Chico or nobody. Maybe with thoughts that they would grab him and make him the boss. A little puppet that he is. They probably would have. So Jimmy and Danny Marino disgust me. Chin did what he's supposed to do and goes to Russia. Now, I don't know if Chin knew that Gas Pipe would have used the bomb because that's against the rules in the United States. So Chin might have just gave him the contract. Gas Pipe had the guy who put the bomb under the car, probably got the bomb from Europe, probably Italy, and he actually put it all together. So it was more Gas Pipe the way it was done. Now, if Gas Pipe ran up to him or me and shot him in the head, I would say that's what he was supposed to do. Even if he killed me, I would tell my family that's what he's supposed to do. I broke the rule, the golden rule, and he was given an order and he did it. To blow a person up is beyond, and I was right there picking him up in pieces. I've seen guys murdered, dead, nothing like this. Frankie was a good guy, great guy. He's not an animal. If you would have shot him in the head, I could understand that. I still wouldn't like it, but I could understand it. So that's why I'm really not as mad at Chin. Don't get me wrong, I would have killed him. John pulled me off of it. It would have been my pleasure to kill him. But
Dave in Pittsburgh wants to know, do you remember your last conversation with John?
I think my last conversation I had with John is when I found out what he was doing, what he wanted to do. He told me he was going to do it. He was going to back the lawyers. I was going to be the sacrificial lamb. And I had told him, my last words, I remember distinctly, John, do you really want to do this, bro? Are you sure? And he said, Sammy, I'm the boss. The boss must go free. You have to go to prison for me to get out. I told him, all right, let's do it. And I walked away. I think that's the end of it.
All right, Sammy, I got a question from Instagram. Sammy, big man, did you have any dealings with the Edelwood Young team in the 80s?
Edelwood Young team? Mm-hmm. Is this a team of women who tackled me and beat me up? No, I don't know who that is.
I don't know. What would we do in that situation? Sammy, is it true that you had a fight in a bar with Frankie, Loose Lips, Garino?
The name isn't ringing a bell. I had a lot of fights in bars, but that name isn't ringing a bell.
Taco says gangsters fight with fists and not guns.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Sammy, if you could return to New York City, where would you go first?
If I came to New York City, I would go, I don't know. I really don't know. I'd probably go down to Little Italy someplace in one of the places there and eat. They got great restaurants, great places. I don't really know. It's a tough question to answer.
From what I hear, you probably wouldn't recognize it anymore.
Yeah, my son said that people are telling us you won't even recognize it anymore. And I agree. I've heard that 100 times. So maybe I wouldn't want to do that. Maybe I would. I know there's friends that I would want to see. I'm not a tourist. I mean, I would really, there's friends there, one after the other, that I would love to see. Joe Peruta's daughter, Barbara, and Tony Ann, and Angel, and Butchie Morrow, and Joe Monk, and Louise, and on and on and on. I could go on for an hour. I have a lot of friends there. Big Louie, I would love to see him. I just lost a good friend, Vinny Oil. I would have loved to see him while he was alive, but he just passed recently, and we never stopped being friends. My son is friend with a couple of his sons, Frankie, I think, and maybe Joseph. I'm not sure. A good family, and Vinny Oil was a great guy. I just lost him. I'd say I lost him, they lost him, but I feel the same way. He's a loss for me too. So, and there's a lot of people I would love to see. I got relatives there, nieces, nephews. Some of them I like to see. Some of them I like to chop their heads off. But what I say? Uh-oh.
The Lord is listening.
The Lord is with me, bro.
We have a question about merchandise on Instagram. You know, Sammy, now would be a really good time to let everybody know that we're doing a Memorial Day sale. 30% off the rest of the month.
You heard it from the Squirt. 30% off on everything?
Everything. Artwork, signed baseballs, prints.
So this is the time to buy. 30%, I can't get any better than that. Yes, come here. Come here, baby. Look, here's Lily. This is my baby. Look, Lily, you're not supposed to. This wasn't a tongue kiss here.
Peter has a question. I remember you mentioning in a video once that Joe Watts had wanted to harm Gerard while you were in the witness protection program. If he had harmed Gerard, would you have any revenge plans, or how would you handle the situation?
If he hurt my son, my whole life when I would have got out of prison would be to go after him. And I wouldn't want to do anything. Eat good, sleep good, or go into business. My whole focus would be him. Every minute of every day.
Sammy, did you ever have any dealings with the Irish Mafia?
Yes. Yeah, plenty.
And did you ever meet Jerry Angulo from the Boston North End?
Who?
Jerry Angulo?
I don't think I heard the name.
Sammy, what was your relationship like with Paul Vario?
I didn't know him well. I knew some of the lower guys in the crew. He wasn't a very talkative guy. It was almost like in what the movie said. He was very quiet. He didn't want to meet people. He didn't want to talk much. I was on a low level. He was much higher, not just because he was one step ahead of me as a captain, but he was very powerful and a lot of stuff going on, swag and stuff. He kept to himself, and people respected that. I know I did. I never tried to go there. I wasn't a hijacker. John had some transactions with him because John was a hijacker as well. So I guess they may have robbed loads and transferred back and forth. I don't know. And he wasn't a guy that he wanted to deal with anybody. I don't think he liked John Gotti either. But he was very private. So I saw him once or twice. I went to his funeral, but I never had no real conversations with him.
Jesse would like to know, did you ever meet Carl DeLuna from Kansas City? If so, do you have any stories about it?
No, I don't think I know him.
JB Weld in the super chat wants to know, Sammy, did you ever meet Angelo Bruno in Philly? And did you know what happened to the guy who whacked him?
Who whacked him? Yes, I know. I never met Angelo Bruno. I was in that war. I was given the contract to kill Johnny Keys, and I did. Exactly who the actual shooter was, it could have been I don't know, his driver. There was a driver of his. There was a whole bunch of people who came up. I don't know. I don't think it even matters. Again, who should pull the trigger? It's who gave the orders. That's the important thing in the mafia. A lot of guys will say, this guy's not important. He never shot nobody. It's the guy who's doing the planning. It's the guy who's doing the thinking, the guy who's giving the orders. That's the guy who's dangerous. Shooters are a dime a dozen.
Sammy, did you ever have any dealings with the Chicago outfit?
No.
Have you ever met Russell Buffalino?
Russell Buffalino. No, I never met him either. I knew of him, but I never met him.
Let's see, we got some questions from, what is the best pizza place in Scottdale?
Oregano's, Grimaldi's, there's a few of them. They're not like Brooklyn, and they're not like New York, but there's a few.
Scott would like to know, where do you think Joe Watts is today?
I'm not sure where he is. I'm not sure. He had a ton of money. I talked about him this morning. He had a ton of money, a lot of money. Always did. Now he got out of prison. He could easily pack his bags, pack his money, transfer it to Swiss accounts or whatever. He's that type of guy. And boop, gone. And they're not looking for him because he didn't commit a crime. The only thing he did was broke his parole or probation or whatever he's got. So who would give a shit about him? I don't think he had any family when he went in. His wife left him, his kids. I don't think he had a fucking thing. Nobody liked him. His wife left. She opened up a thing. He had a tax case. She was like a swinger type of woman. She owned a business who booked, people who were going to go on trips, hundreds of them. So it came out in court. But she had left him. I'm trying to think if he had a gomata. He had a bad back. I know that. He did. He was in prison. When he was in prison, he paid a Spanish guy to carry a knife and be a bodyguard for him. I mean, that's a tough guy. You don't do that. But he did that. And when he got out, he was in a rehab home or some bullshit for a while. And then he disappeared, or wherever he went. Maybe somebody took him out. I don't know.
Sammy, did you ever know Tommy Tough Knuckles?
Tommy Tough Knuckles? Mm-hmm. I knew her sister, Barbara Knuckles. No.
Who would you say you idolized as a real Cosa Nostra besides Johnny Keys?
My title is a lot of guys, Frankie the Chico, and on and on and on. There were so many, Stymie, Peruta. There were so many guys who were good men in their life. A real lot of them. Colombo guys, I knew from the Colombo family, a lot of them were good guys. Every family.
Kenneth Sponberg again wants to know, did Sammy know or have any dealings with the Sicilian Mafia boss, Salvatore Totoina?
You know, believe it or not, there was a connection with us. There was a captain in our family who had uncles in Sicily, and his uncles were against Salvatore Totoina. And they sent a message in through the Gambinos, Johnny Gambino, or some of them, and saying this, the guy in the family, our family, I don't remember his name, he was a greaseball, he was a captain. They said he was interfering in their war. Paul ordered his death. Joe Watts and Frankie the Chico carried it out. Paul sat me down and said, I think I'm going to send you to Sicily to kill his two uncles. Because Totorino reached out to Paul. And that's how this whole thing happened. He was annoyed that they were helping. So there is a little story I do know about that. That's the story. I never got the contract to go. I don't even know. I would have went. I would have probably had to put me on a ship or something. But I didn't go. And but once he killed the guy in our family, Captain, a greaseball, then there was no problem with Totorina. I think if there was a problem, Totorina would have fucking retaliated against us in the United States. We wouldn't even know what the hell is going on. Now, Totorino, he blew up a car. I'm not going to get into all of that. I know a little bit about him and his story.
Let's save that story for another day.
Yeah.
Real quick, though, can we give a special shout out to Betty Ann? She is bidding our chat farewell. She said that there's a lot going on right now, and she just sends her love to everybody.
My love to you, Betty. If there's any way I could help you, got my number, get in touch. I hope you don't have problems, yourself. But if you do, good luck with your problems. I pray for you. And if you need my help, give me a call. I don't know if I could help, but I'll try.
From Instagram, hey Sammy, my husband and I enjoyed our sit down with you last week. Love, George and Ann.
Oh yeah, they are so sweet.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I remember.
How would the mob look if Frankie DeChico didn't get killed?
It would have looked a lot better. Frankie DeChico was a tough guy, real tough guy, super tough guy. But he was for the underdog. He was fair. He was a good friend to the people who he was friends with. He was a bad enemy to the people he was an enemy with. So, but I think it would have been a better place, a better family. I think we would have lasted a little longer. And I think it would have been much, much better.
Okay, I know we're coming up at the 2:00 mark. We got so much more to go through, but I think we're going to save that for you guys for next week. So.
Yes. And it's not my fault. Amina's got to go home and she runs like a rabbit. So blame her. It's her fault. She's laughing. It's not her fault. We have a Zoom call coming up with somebody, a business call coming up in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yep.
So, guys, love all you guys. And Betty Ann, take care. Stay healthy and God bless. Adios, motherfuckers.